A lot has happened since I was in Canada. Thanks to exposing them, several of Collective Shout staff have taken it upon themselves to double and triple down on their defense of cuties, as well as other actions. Oh, that's right. I didn't include that last time. Collective Shout actually breaks rank with NCOS and other groups and wants to die on the hill that 650 little girls needed to be exploited and abused in their auditions, which included twerking, and the remaining cast absolutely needed to dance provocatively for the film because it started a conversation. That ultimately went nowhere. But yeah, Detroit become human bad, cuties good. Make it make sense. More games have been targeted. itch.io has taken down most, if not all, of their Not Safe for Work catalog. The UK's Online Safety Act went live, censoring far more than anything intended, leading to a whole host of scam websites to pop up, as well as free speech being shut down, which it was indeed outed by a politician that yes, this was the goal.
For anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go.
Look, sorry.
And most interestingly, thanks to The Guardian, we have confirmation that Melinda Tankard-Reist recently was put on the shareholder board that will oversee the age-gate legislation for Australia, thus making her a foreign extremist government-associated individual attempting to terrorize legal markets of the world, all over fiction. Kennedy, a Collective Shout goose, has been crashing out and is simply obsessed with me. Despite blocking me, she actively reads replies to my posts and even has the audacity to attempt to reply to some of them, continuing her ridiculous framing of things.
Wow, this person defended men's access to child sexual abuse, rape, and incest games, derided, defamed, or misrepresented our movement, our campaigns, and our all-female team, riled up a horde of rabid men against us, who have responded by sending us CSAM, the most vile porn, deepfake images-based, sexual abused material using team members' image, rape and death threats, all because we help payment processors to account for their own terms of service. Great to know whose side you're on. Noted, and thanks.
Not only is none of that true, but the CSAM you're referring to is just anime memes. This person as opposed to this woman. There's a bit of a narcissistic slip up there, though, by admitting that they're just helping the payment processor realize their terms of service. She and the other journalists in her little gaggle of graying gooses seem to think that they're above a bunch of lawyers, a bunch of regulators, a bunch of lawmakers. Visa and MasterCard didn't need your help. So I'm actually not really too sure why they listen. Oh, right. It's because Melinda's part of the Australian government now and can impact whether or not Visa and MasterCard can service the country. I digress. She and others also still refuse to acknowledge me as a woman and even dare to use, at least what it sounds like to me, threats. For our records, she insists. And it would appear they are attempting to gather personal information on myself and Smash JT. Sweetie Pie, I'm an open book. What do you want to know, oh defender of cuties? During my time away, I did not stop working. I released threads of information, but most important was reading 1,200 pages of legalese in Visa and MasterCard's rules, to which I discovered the following troubling pages. The rules state as following. In relation to, or for the purchase or trade of photographs, video imagery, computer-generated images, cartoons, simulation, or any other media or activities including, but not limited to, any of the following: child sexual abuse materials, incest, bestiality, rape, or any other non-consensual sexual behavior, non-consensual mutilation of a person or body part. A member that does not comply with these requirements will be subject to non-compliance assessments prescribed under the Visa Integrity Risk Program. You can read about that further in their massive document, and on the tweet I've got some links for some other bits and pieces of it, but this is the most important part. This but not limited to means that they can essentially take away any content that they deem unfit for use of the Visa brand. Now, again, these rules absolutely make sense when you just apply it to human flesh and blood. These are terrible things that are against the law, but it's being applied to fiction. Game of Thrones exists, and I don't see them complaining about that. MasterCard compressed their rules down to 400 and some odd pages, but the same language is shining through. Under Section 512.7, illegal or brand damaging transactions, they state the following. The sale of a product or service, including an image which is patently offensive and lacks serious artistic value, as such by way of example and not limitation, images of non-consensual sexual behavior, sexual exploitation of a minor, non-consensual mutilation of a person or body part, and bestiality, or any other material that the corporation deems unacceptable to sell in connection with a mark, aka their brand. So MasterCard actually goes a step further in their vague language, but it's all the same at the end of the day. Again, these rules make sense when you apply it to human behavior, but not in the world of fiction, because this rule is clearly not being applied evenly. These both allow the companies to abuse these rules. Both were updated this year. These rules sound like things that were originally covered for just pornography, real people, because it is illegal to do the bestiality, the dismembering, the rape, and so on and so forth. So, in a way, these rules actually make sense. But why is it being applied to fiction of all things? 4chan started a push to clog phone lines, but there's another route that I also want to encourage. While you're on hold, file an ethics complaint. Financial institutions are required by law to have these there, and if there is a trend in complaints, they are raised with the board of directors, and the information is distributed to shareholders and customers. This works in our favor on two fronts. Force them to see the issue and naturally raise a very fair complaint of ethics violations. We don't have to stop there, though. We can also raise complaints with the FTC and the Better Business Bureau. Legal works of fiction, protected by law in both Japan and America, have been censored by Visa and MasterCard, but the world will stand for it no more. They happily attack games and manga and anime, but don't go after Hollywood for the very same topics. I wonder why that is. MasterCard attempted to put out a statement, but it is flimsy at best, and somewhat throws Collective Shout under the bus. They continue to hold on to the lie that they have told for years.
We didn't do nothing. We don't go after legal content.
Lies. Every single platform has named MasterCard and payment processors for the reasons and rule shifts and content deleting. You have Collective Shout admitting Steam did nothing until they messaged someone at payment processors. So do these companies have rogue employees? This isn't a good look, no matter how it's framed. Collective Shout staffer Kennedy wants to emphasize that she had to hold the payment processors to their own standards, saying that they're incapable of enforcing rules with their thousands of staff and expensive lawyers. But regardless of all of this, we know what the truth is. Payment processors are acting unethically and immorally, picking and choosing on who gets to benefit from their service, all while trying to continue to play innocent. I don't doubt that the person who actually wrote that message probably believes it, but it came from people who know the truth, and they know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing is wrong. So congratulations, you are pushing people towards your competitors. The first payment processor to come out and say, we'll never censor your artwork, they're gonna win very big. I don't know if Discover or some of these other cards want to try to make a bid for it right now. I sure hope they do. But until then, all we can do is wait. Right now, there is some legal action against Ofcom being taken. Please go support these legendary individuals for attempting to draw a line in the sand, legally, in a manner that I cannot do myself. If I were a lawyer, I'd be more than happy to, but unfortunately I'm not. So we'll leave the law stuff to the wonderful experts out there, and I will continue to keep digging. If it's one thing that I know I can do very well, it's processing large quantities of information at lightning speeds. Mostly because I don't really leave my basement too often. But I digress. Thank you guys so much for listening today, and I hope that you are enduring well in these trying times. And for the people in Australia, the UK, and the EU, I am so sorry that this is happening to you. I wish that I could say more than just vote out these corrupt individuals, but unfortunately, that's the best I can offer on top of information. So keep fighting, keep talking, remain peaceful and positive, and never give up on the truth. It will, at the end of the day, set us free.
Hey, big boy in your Why does my comic make you cower? Don't you know it's not 1984? We shouldn't have to hide our art anymore. No, you can't make me change my lore. Won't give in to your sensitivity, reader. Don't